So Tyreek Hill to the Kansas City Chiefs has been heating up, and there's been a lot of talks about him going to the Kansas City Chiefs. So right now, reporters are saying and insiders are saying that Tyreek Hill has two teams that's really pushing for him heavy. And what I'm hearing is that the Steelers have the highest second odds to land Tyreek Hill, and the Chiefs has the first highest odds to land Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill to the Kansas City Chiefs is something that's very possible, and I really wouldn't knock it. Now obviously we know that Tyreek Hill has had a history with us. Of course, he's won a Super Bowl with us, and when he left the Kansas City Chiefs, he also has some very bad things to say about us and Patrick Mahomes. But at the end of the day, talk is talk, man. Sometimes you just got to be a man, and you just got to, let things go. And that's for, Brett Veach, that's for Tyreek, Mahomes. Everybody's got to let things go. And when he comes back to the Chiefs, it would be something special. And maybe everybody from 2018, not everybody, but majority of people from 2018 could get that ring that we deserve. Hunt, Tyreek, Travis Kelce, Mahomes, and Chris Jones could get that 2018 ring that they were supposed to get. That's if Tyreek Hill comes to the Chiefs, man. I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of talks. And even though Tyreek has not been having the best, games in Miami, can't really blame him. His quarterback play is horrible. His Tua could barely even throw 20 yards down the field. So Tyreek Hill, he knows who he is. Tyreek Hill knows he's a very good wide receiver, and he knows that he has some years left in him. He has some things left in the tank. So for him to be going through what he's going through in Miami is not good for him, and I believe if he comes back to the Kansas City Chiefs, that would be perfect timing right now. Tyreek Hill, I don't know, man. I don't know. I really believe in it. Now, some people were saying that the trade calls are rejected, but I don't believe that. Like, why would the Dolphins be rejecting calls to Tyreek Hill if Tyreek Hill is getting older and the Dolphins are clearly not going nowhere? The Dolphins should be looking to do a fire sale soon because they're horrible. They're definitely not winning their division, and they're done for. So the Dolphins, they definitely will not be receiving the same or similar compensation as to what they gave away to the Chiefs in 2022 to acquire Hill. And, Tyreek Hill, he's had 1,700 plus receiving yard seasons when he got to Miami, but that feels like a lifetime ago already. He's coming off of a down year in which he didn't even reach 1,000. And Hill's also on the wrong side of 30 now, But now the Chiefs are looking like they need him, right? Obviously, the Chiefs have done fine, just fine without him by winning back-to-back Super Bowls and appearing in 3 straight. But there are occasions where the Chiefs' offense looks really bad, and not having a reliable wide receiver one becomes glaring. And when I say reliable, Worthy got hurt, Rice is suspended, so you can't rely on them dudes. Even though they're very good players, how could you rely on them? And it showed in week 1. And we tried through the draft. We used them early picks to get Rashee Rice and Worthy. But like I said, Rashee, he does seem like a legit wide receiver one, but his 6-game suspension to start the season cripples the Chiefs' positional group. And then the jury remains out on Xavier Worthy, who left Kansas City's week 1 matchup early against the Chargers with an injury. So with Rice suspended, Worthy banged up, Kelce starting to show his age. If Hill was to be traded to Kansas City, it will likely come much earlier than that November 4th trade deadline. And that's a fact. And you also got the Steelers who's out there trying to get Tyreek Hill. So now it puts us in competition. And that's really what Brett Veach hates. He doesn't like competing to get people. We know that Brett Veach, he hates competing to get people. But Tyreek Hill knows this offense. Tyreek Hill's a familiar face. Tyreek Hill could help the young guys develop. It's a lot of upsides to getting Tyreek Hill for this Kansas City Chiefs team, and there's no doubt about that. But yeah, man, let's be real. Tyreek Hill comes to the Chiefs right now. He's going to have an amazing year. He's going to get 1,000 yards. Him and Mahomes, the chemistry is obviously there. There's literally no, reason to say that him and Mahomes don't have any chemistry. That the chemistry is there. We know the chemistry is automatic. We know Tyreek Hill. We know what he brings to a team. And when you have a guy like Tyreek Hill, like I said, man, you're going to do amazing things. Their offense is automatically going to get better. Defenses are not going to know how to guard Hill, Hollywood, Worthy, and Rice, Royals, Juju, Taekwon. Like, come on, defenses will not be able to account for all those weapons. So, like I said, it's something that should happen. I'm not saying we have to go get Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying it's a must that we go get Tyreek Hill. But what I am saying is that if we could get Tyreek Hill, it changes everything for this Chiefs team. All these struggles that we're having at wide receiver, I'm sure it would be fixed. And you still got Travis Kelce, who's looking very slow and not like himself. But he's still Travis Kelce at the end of the day. So you got him, got Reek, Worthy, Rice, Hollywood, got all these weapons. And you just got to see how everything play out. That's mainly what it's about. Mostly seeing how everything plays out. Seeing how these guys end up looking. And that's something that I can't wait to see. But that's if we get him. Obviously, the Steelers is fighting for him. And then there's also a chance that the Chiefs don't get him. You know, it's also a chance that the Dolphins don't even trade him. So it's not guaranteed, but I definitely wanted to give y'all an update that that talks are heating up. Talks are heating up. Like I said, it's not guaranteed, but talks is definitely heating up. We're going to see what Tyreek Hill does. We're going to see how this all works out. We're going to see if the Dolphins really want to move him. We're going to see if the Steelers end up pushing harder for him, or do we push harder? We're just going to see, man. We don't know what the future is going to hold with this whole Tyreek Hill situation. But at the end of the day, what I do know is that Tyreek Hill to the Kansas City Chiefs changes everything for this Chiefs team. And this Chiefs offense needs a spark. You know, I don't think the defense is going to be as good as the previous 2 years, you know. I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be as good as 2023. We had a legendary defense that year. So the offense is going to have to step it up. There's no more mediocre offense. We can't keep trying to go to the Super Bowl with a mediocre offense. So the offense going to have to find a way to step it up. And that's if we get Tyreek Hill, and that's if we don't get Tyreek Hill. Either way, this offense has to step up. But getting Tyreek Hill could help that process 20 times more, 100 times more, you know. So I just can't wait to see what happens, man. We're just going to keep taking it day by day. And we'll see if Tyreek Hill ends up coming to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, we don't really know at the end of the day, so we just got to see what happens. But like I said, man, Tyreek Hill to the Chiefs, it's very, very good. And that's something that I want to see. Chiefs priority, and I'm out. Peace.